Hey there. So today I think we're going to try something a little bit different on this channel. We're going to do a head-to-head comparison of two robot vacuums. So head-to-head comparison. We will see which one wins the death match. So today we're going to compare two rather popular models of robot vacuums. We're going to do the Roomba 675 and the Neato Robotics Botvac D3 Connected, which is a bit of a mouthful. So we've had the Neato robot for about 18 months, this particular model, the D3, and actually have owned Neato Botvacs since I think 2012. In fact, I'm positive about it because the reason why we have a robot vacuum is because of our dogs, which I'll mention in just a second. The Roomba is actually borrowed from somebody, so we just wanted to do a head-to-head comparison and see which one was better. You know, because it's always good to keep an eye out and see what's going on in the world of technology and which one's going to be better. So anyway, the reason why we have a robot vacuum in the first place is simply because we have dogs. Currently, we have two Huskies, Lily and Diesel, and we also have a new addition to the family who is a pug, and her name is Kona. She's about 7 months old. Weirdly enough, all three of them shed in slightly different ways. Lily's fur is kind of long and kinky and tends to really like to gather together and float around and clump up. Diesel's fur is long but straight, so it likes to get into corners and things like that and just hide everywhere. And then Kona's is really short but straight. She hasn't started shedding too bad yet, but my brother has a pug, and so I've seen the results of a pug shedding. So it'll be much less bad than the Huskies, but we'll have a bunch of little hairs going around all over the place. So anyway, yeah, you might say oh, you guys are super lazy, but honestly, our robot vacuums 3 times a week, and even at that, we could definitely do with another day or two. I just don't want to run the vacuum to death because they do have a certain amount of lifespan. If nothing else, just the battery starts to wear out after a while. So anyway, we run it 3 times a week. It takes about 90 minutes to clean the downstairs, which is I think around 1,400 square feet. When we got the Roomba, we actually ran it once before doing this test on the downstairs, just in case there was some sort of I don't know. I know that the Neato, for example, it actually keeps track of where it is, and so it has a sense of what the floor plan is, and it does better after a couple of vacuums. And so we just ran the Roomba just to make sure that everything was square. So without further ado, let's first take a look at the head-to-head comparison. I've got a couple of quick videos of things going on, and then a time-lapse of the two of them zipping around the dining room and the living room. They actually go so fast in the time-lapse that it's hard to see them, but you can see them kind of working their way through. So anyway, after that, we will get back and we'll take a look at the specs on the two machines, and we'll take a look at the results, and we will see which one, at least we think we should recommend for your purchase if you are interested. Okay, so in just a few minutes, they're scheduled to start at the same time. So there's the Neato robot, and that's the D3, and this is the Roomba 675. So we're gonna clean up this whole area, and we're going to see which one cleans it the better, as in more dirt, which one cleans it faster, and which one has fewer incidents as they are cleaning. So we will find out. There it goes. And I'm not sure exactly why this has not started. I'm just going to go ahead and start it. Clean! There it goes. Here we go. Okay, so after running the two vacuums together on the head-to-head death match, it was kind of cool when they would get close to each other. They'd kind of work around each other. It was interesting. But anyway, after working on that, we've got some observations about this, and I think that we have some valid thoughts about which one of the machines would work better. So a few things first of all. First of all is the quality of pickup. I'm going to show a video here of the vacuum like pickups in two bowls. And you can see that they're both relatively even, but the Roomba actually has a slight advantage. So let's roll that video. All right, here we have them after they got done cleaning. Unbiased opinion, which one has more dirt in it, or are they the same?
That was on our floor.
Yeah, I know, right? And that was when I thought things were clean, too.
I guess this has bigger chunk stuff. It has like more like dirt pieces. So it like picked up more like dust. I mean, the dog hair is just freaking ridiculous. I mean,
oh, I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah, like there's
more dust.
Yeah, there's more like.
Interesting. Okay. So which one? If you had to pick one of the two, not knowing which one was which would you pick?
I don't know what I would. I don't know, John. I guess this one.
Okay.
I would pick this one.
Okay, so that was the Roomba. I actually honestly
was it
can't.
really?
Yeah, I can't really. I guess you are right. There is a little bit more of like the micro dust stuff, and this one has a little bit less of that. So I think they're actually relatively close, but I think you were right. I think that the Roomba picked up a little bit more like little crap than the Neato did. So interesting. Yeah, it's newer. It also has like, it just seems like it's just more aggressive. You can hear the brushes going, and it's an awful lot louder. So anyway, interesting. I wouldn't put too much between them though. I think that they're both pretty darn good at what they're doing.
I can't believe that was on our floor.
I can't believe that was on our floor either. It's just disgusting. So yes, as you see, the quality of the pickup is pretty darn similar between the two, but the Roomba might have just a little bit of an edge of picking up some of the little fine-grained dirt relative to the Neato Botvac. One other thing, I also did a quick video of the bottoms of both of them. After a while, the rollers and everything can become completely gummed up with hair and everything. But if you look at both of the videos that I'm putting over the top right now, you'll see that both of the robots did pretty well. They didn't really get too gummed up with hair, and both of the rollers are still in pretty good shape. So that's a plus for both of them. So go for both of them. Okay, so the time and speed. So this is it's a little bit of an awkward comparison. The Botvac in a way was faster, but it was also slower. I'm going to give the Botvac a little bit of a pass on this because it's 18 months old and the battery's not quite up to what it used to be. So anyway, the Botvac used to be able to do the entire downstairs in one go, but the battery's, not quite as solid as it was before, so it had to take a 25-minute rest stop. So as it turned out, it was 1 hour and 38 minutes to complete the whole thing, including the 25-minute rest stop. But the actual cleaning time was only 1 hour and 13 minutes, whereas the Roomba was 1 hour and 20 minutes total without having to stop. But again, it's got a newer battery, so take it as you will, but I know for a fact that when we first got the Botvac, it was able to do the entire downstairs at once, and that would be 1 hour and 13 minutes, so it'd actually be 7 minutes faster. So it is now 5:50, so 1 hour and 20 minutes, and it says it's done with the job. Okay, so it's 6:08, so that's 1 hour and 38 minutes for the Neato robot to have finished up its job. If you subtract the 25 minutes, because again the battery's old on this one, it used to be able to do it in one shot. It would actually have been faster than the Roomba, but not by a ton. It would have been what, an hour and 13 minutes, I guess, something like that. So yeah, 1 hour and 13 minutes versus 1 hour and 20. So it would have finished 7 minutes faster, but it would have been a little faster. But in this case, it's slower by about 28 minutes. Is that right? Something like that. By 6:08, no, 18 minutes. It was slower by 18 minutes. It would have been faster by about 7 minutes. So there you go. Okay, the next thing is how loud are these two machines? I'll pause for video here for just a second. So this is me speaking in a normal conversation voice. You can hear just about how loud the robot is. It's pretty loud. And it also goes in diagonals. For whatever reason. It's also good at slamming things. So let's see if we can catch this here. Okay, I went over that, but it does not like these black lines at all, which is really fascinating. So it's completely stuck. It's stymied by the black lines on the carpet, which is crazy. So you can see the Neato does not have an issue with the carpet. It just runs right over it. So that was unexpected, but there you go. Also, see how the Neato doesn't just keep operating? It actually is like looking around to figure out where it is. So let's get a sense of how loud this is. Obviously, I'm talking right now to give a sense of scale. I would say that's significantly quieter. I don't have to like scream over it. So it is quieter. Although you can definitely hear the motor, I guess, the wheels a little bit more. There's the Roomba over there. And so, as you can hear, or maybe you can't hear with the with the video recording because it adjusts its volume level, but the Roomba is distinctly louder than the Botvac. So if you care about how loud things are, then it might actually make some sense for you to want to purchase the Botvac instead. So that would be the Neato Robotics. It's, I don't know how many decibels quieter it is. I actually should have got like a decibel meter and I should have checked it, but it's significantly quieter, and the Roomba is much louder. So you definitely know it's running, although you definitely know both of them are running. So, you know, there you go. Okay, next up is furniture sensitivity, and I guess wall sensitivity too. Both of them seem to be pretty good about avoiding walls. They don't just go smacking into walls and things. The Roomba is much more aggressive in terms of the way that it just smacks into furniture and whatever else is around, because it doesn't really have any other kind of sensors except for this big rounded bumper across the front, and so it just goes boom, 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 hits things. It seems to have some sort of proximity sensor that allows it to sense a very large object like a wall or something, and so it will kind of like slow down a little bit as it comes up to a wall. But in terms of like furniture legs or dogs or, you know, whatever things that are around, it just kind of bumps into them, and that's the way it goes. Also, the downstairs, this didn't happen, but on our upstairs, when we ran it once up there, there's a underneath the cabinetry in the bathroom, there's a little shelf, and it kind of wedges itself in there, which the Neato has never done in all of its cleaning. So that's something to also adjust for. Okay, next up is area awareness, and what I mean by that is that the Neato Botvac actually has a laser on top. Laser!
Arm the laser!
I'm in the laser!
It has a laser on top. And so it actually maps out the entire area, and when it's done, it actually shows you a screen grab of your cleaning area, and it tells you how many square meters or square feet that it was and everything. So it's kind of cool that it does that, and it also means that you can create area aware things where you can like circle areas, like if it is always getting stuck under a particular chair or something, you can actually circle that area and it will avoid it, which is pretty cool. So that's something that, as far as I know, the Roomba does not have, at least at this level. They may have like a more advanced version of it that's more expensive or something that does, but at that level, definitely the Botvac wins on that. And it's really cool to be able to see like a little map of your cleaning area and so forth. That's kind of neat. Okay, next up is filter quality. So both of them have filters. The Botvac has a HEPA filter. I don't think the Roomba's qualifies as a HEPA filter. It's certainly much thinner. It's just kind of a single layer, whereas the Botvac's is a corrugated filter, and so it certainly seems to filter out a little bit more stuff. It also gets a lot more junky, like it gets a lot of hair and stuff caught in those little filters, and you have to really whack it to fix it. But of course, you can also always buy new ones as you wish. But I would say that the Botvac wins somewhat in the filter area, although since we don't have really bad allergies, it doesn't really affect us that much. But, you know, if you have allergies and you care about the filters, now you may be able to buy a HEPA filter for the Roomba also, but at least as they come in the box, the Botvac actually wins to some extent. All right, next up is usage. So really what this comes down to now is both of them are connected, which means that they're Wi-Fi connected, which means that you get an app for your smartphone or your iPad or whatever it is, and that allows you to control the interface, and that's pretty cool. You can schedule things. It tells you if something's wrong. It tells you about maintenance reminders, etc., etc. If either one of them gets stuck, they make noise. The Botvac actually just kind of makes some like sad sounds. It bleeps at you like a sad little sheep. The Roomba, on the other hand, actually has voice messages, which talks to you and it says what's wrong and what's going on. But the issue with that is, weirdly enough, you'd think that would be a big advantage, but the problem is that it always seems like it's somewhere else, and so you hear the fact that it's making some sort of sound, and you're like, oh crap, but by the time you get there, you can't hear what the message was. So anyway, in terms of both of them, it actually makes more sense to look on the app. So you look on your phone and it tells you what the issue is, unless it's really obvious, like it ate a sock or something, in which case you can kind of like, oh, take the sock out. But so the apps are quite useful. They're very good. They, you can operate it, I guess, if you were on vacation and you wanted to run it. I don't know why you would want to run an extra cleaning while you're on vacation, but anyway, you can do it from your phone long distance if you wish to. But you can certainly also track what's going on your phone. So all of that's really cool. I think that the usage-wise, I think both of them are pretty equivalent. They both have a nice, simple interface, no big deal. It works great. Love it. Okay, next up is longevity. Since we've only owned Botvacs, Neato Botvacs before, I can't really speak to the Roomba's longevity, but let's just assume it's kind of sort of the same. What I'm getting out of that is they last about 2 years, and then they kind of have one problem or another. And then you can write to the service and you can see if they'll be willing to do something about it to help you out. One time we had like our last version of the D3, it just went right off the stairs on the upstairs for who knows what reason, because it's supposed to stop, and it always had stopped before, but it just went right off the stairs and fell down. And I have to say that Neato service was great. Thank you guys. They just shipped out a new one. We shipped the old one back with all the broken pieces, and that was no problem. But there does come a time when they are kind of like reluctant to help you fix a problem because they're like, it's out of warranty after a year. So again, I can't answer this question directly, but I can say that these things do not last forever. It's a hard life they're living. They're robots and they're in the dirt and in the grime and like just kicking it all up inside themselves. And so it's kind of messy. And so you just have to assume that there is a lifespan to these. So cost actually becomes more important in that case because it's got a lifespan. If you could buy it and it was going to last 12 years, then you're like, well, whatever. But since they actually don't seem to last super long, it is pretty important how long of a warranty they have and also how long you expect them to last. So it's definitely something to keep in mind and to look at reviews and so forth. But I can tell you from experience that the Botvacs tend to last about 2 years, and after that, iffy. One thing I will say about the Roomba is that there was a weird error where it like would not go over a black line on the carpet because it said it was detecting a cliff, which, by the way, the Neato does not have an issue with. So that was kind of a negative to it. But it was interesting because when it popped up, it also had a little thing where you could just type in what the error was and what was going on, and it would go directly to customer service for Roomba, which I thought was kind of cool. That's something that I haven't seen from Neato, so I thought that was a neat little kudos for customer service for Roomba, because hopefully then in another software upgrade they will kind of look at that problem and they'll see if they can fix that issue. All right, and the big question is cost. All right, so the Roomba 675 is about $200. I think it's $199 on Amazon, and I'll put links down there if you want to take a look at them. The Botvac, oddly enough, the D3 is actually $371 on Amazon, but the D4, which is an evolution of it, is actually only $322 on Amazon. Right now, at least, it's on sale and so forth. So again, I'll put the link for that down in the description, and you can take a look at what you think, but I would certainly recommend getting the D4 because it's the next generation and it's $50 cheaper, so there's no sense in not getting it. But anyway, so I'll count it as $322 versus $199. But still, certainly the Botvac is substantially more expensive than the Roomba for more or less the same product. Okay, and the big drumroll, please, right? What is our verdict on which one is better? Well, I have to say at this point, given that they are relatively even, all things considered, for us, if we had to buy another one right now, we would actually get a Roomba 675 because it just flat out costs $120 less than the Neato. And given the fact that, in our experience again, that these last about 2 years, that's a significant savings if you're going to have to buy several of these over the course of a decade. So I think that's kind of the overriding concern for us. Now, where would you rather get a Neato instead? Number one, if you had furniture or pets that you wanted the robot to be gentle about, certainly you would want to get the Neato, because it's much more gentle. Since it has the laser, it doesn't just go slamming into things. It detects them and it goes around them. It's actually really cool watching it work. Number two, at this point at least, with the HEPA filter, I would say that the Neato would come out on top because it's got a better filter. But again, I suspect that you can probably buy a Roomba filter that's more of a HEPA filter. Number three, if you have areas where you really don't want the robot to go, like I said, you can just create, literally draw a circle or a line or something like that around an area that you don't want the Neato robot to go. If you want that for the Roomba, you can get it, but you have to spend extra money to get these little towers, and they have to sit all over your house, and that's kind of ridiculous. If you have a child's play area that's not blocked off by a door or by a gated kind of area, then certainly I would say that the Neato would be a better thing too. Also, if you have a relatively light cleaning need, when I talk about these things lasting 2 years, I'm talking about with 3 dogs, right? They are putting it through hell. If you have a relatively light cleaning need, it would probably last 2, 3, 4 times longer, right? So in that case, the cost difference becomes less. So then again, also the Neato would work out better. I personally love the way the Neato works just because it's very gentle. It knows what's going on. It's keeping track of everything. So I like the way it's working better. So really, when I talk about my verdict, it's really coming down to the fact that cost. It's not that much better. It's not so much better that it's worth an extra $120 in my mind. So I think that's really what it comes down to for us. And so again, for us, I think in the future, and more than likely given the fact that the Neato is about 18 months old, somewhere in the next 6 months to 1 year, it's probably going to crap out, which means we're going to need a new robot vacuum, which means we will probably give some pretty serious consideration to the Roomba. So anyway, there you have it. Hopefully this has been useful for you. And I know it's not exactly adventure stuff, but honestly, it kind of is, because since we have the dogs and since we're gone a lot, we actually need our vacuum while we're gone. And so it's really useful to have a good sense of these robot vacuums and what they can do. Honestly, both of them are super cool. It's amazing what they can do, and it's amazing how much cleaner our house is when we have them running than versus when we don't. So I am very much a fan of the robot vacuums. But again, if I had to make a choice today between the two of them, I would get the Roomba just based solely on cost and the fact that it's 90% as good as the Neato, and it costs $120 less. So I think that's where we would come down with it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments if you have any thoughts or counter arguments or anything like that. Would look forward to hearing that. And of course, if you guys have comments on either these brands or other brands, I know there's an awful lot of brands now, including a whole ton of cheap Chinese knockoffs out there. These are kind of two of the top end brands that are have name brands, but there's a lot of other ones out there. So let me know in the comments also if there are any kind of other interesting robots out there that you think are worth a look at, and we could look at those in the future. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please do like and subscribe. We've got a lot more adventure videos coming. We just have to get our backlog taken care of, and then we will work on them. So until next time, bye-bye.